Have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up, stretch a little, and just feel off? Not quite sick, but not quite right either? Maybe your body feels heavier, your mind foggier, and your energy, well, it just isn't there. You chalk it up to age, maybe even laugh it off. I'm not 30 anymore, you tell yourself. But deep down, something feels different. And you can't help but wonder, is this just what getting older feels like? Here's the truth. Not always. Yes, aging brings its own challenges. And yes, we all slow down a bit. But that doesn't mean we have to accept feeling stuck, tired, or out of sync with our own bodies. Sometimes, what we need isn't a doctor's visit or a new prescription, but a gentle lifestyle tune-up. Like your car needs maintenance to keep running smoothly, your life does too. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 hidden signs that could be telling you it's time for just that. A reset, a fresh start, a little realignment for your health, your habits, and your happiness. And the beautiful thing is, once you notice these signs, you can start making small, powerful changes that help you feel more vibrant, more alive, and yes, live longer too. Let's start with one that sneaks up on people more than you'd think. You don't laugh like you used to. That might sound strange. After all, what does laughter have to do with longevity? But think about it for a moment. When was the last time you had a good, deep belly laugh? Not a polite chuckle or a small smile, but real, feel it in your chest kind of laugh? If it's been a while, that's not just a sign you're missing out on fun. It could actually mean your emotional balance is off. Your social life might be shrinking, or your stress is quietly building up behind the scenes. Laughter is medicine, and not just metaphorically. It lowers blood pressure, boosts immune function, and releases feel-good chemicals that help reduce pain and tension. But if you stopped seeking joy, stopped sharing silly stories, watching comedies, or spending time with people who make you smile, your body feels it, your spirit feels it, and over time, that loss of lightness can weigh you down more than you realize. So ask yourself gently, have you stopped giving yourself permission to laugh? And if so, what could you do to invite more of it back in? Maybe it's calling an old friend who always had a way of making you giggle. Maybe it's watching that goofy movie you secretly love. Or maybe it's just being willing to be silly again, even in small ways. The older we get, the more precious joy becomes. And sometimes, tuning up your life starts by letting joy back in. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. You sleep, but you don't feel rested. You go to bed at a decent hour, maybe even sleep through the night, but still wake up tired, groggy, like your body did the work of sleeping, but your brain didn't get the memo. This isn't always about sleep disorders or insomnia. Sometimes, it's a quiet signal that your body isn't recovering the way it used to. Maybe you're not moving enough during the day. Maybe you're going to bed with stress on your heart or too much screen time. Or maybe your daily rhythm has gotten so off track, skipping meals, inconsistent bedtimes, not enough natural sunlight, that your internal clock is struggling to keep up. The thing is, true rest isn't just about how long you sleep. It's about the quality of that rest. Are your days stimulating enough to make your nights peaceful? Is your bedroom a sanctuary or a source of distraction? Are your thoughts still racing even when your eyes are closed? These small details add up. They affect how you heal, how you age, how you remember things, and even how emotionally balanced you feel. So if you're constantly waking up feeling older than you are, don't just accept it. That's your body whispering, something's out of tune. Let's fix it. And speaking of tuning up, here's another sign that might not seem like a big deal at first. You've stopped looking forward to things. Maybe you still go through the motions, eat meals, watch TV, take your walks, but that little spark of anticipation just isn't there. You used to look forward to Sunday brunch with friends, or that evening gardening time, or even just your favorite radio show. But lately, everything feels kind of flat. This doesn't mean you're depressed. Sometimes it's more subtle than that. It's what I like to call emotional drift. You're not sinking, you're just floating. And while floating might seem harmless, it's a sign that your emotional life needs attention. When you lose that sense of anticipation, that feeling of something good is coming, your brain stops producing the kinds of chemicals that fuel motivation, creativity, and well-being. Without small joys to look forward to, even your immune system can start to dip. That's how closely your emotions and your health are tied. So if nothing lights you up the way it used to, pause and ask yourself, when was the last time I tried something new? Something that made me curious? When did I last plan a little outing, even just at the park or a local cafe, and feel excited about it? These little things matter more than we often admit. And they don't just feed your soul, they help extend your life. You see, tuning up your lifestyle isn't always about cutting out sugar or doing more exercise, though those things can help. It's also about reconnecting with yourself, paying attention to what your body, your emotions, and your spirit are quietly trying to tell you. Now that we've talked about joy, rest, and the power of anticipation, let's take a closer look at some other hidden signals that might be asking for your attention. Sometimes we forget just how smart the body is. It doesn't always shout when something's off. It whispers. A small shift in appetite, a sudden wave of restlessness, or even something as ordinary as not want to go out anymore can be its way of saying, hey, pay attention. And one of those quiet whispers many people overlook is this. You're spending more time alone, and not because you want to. Now, don't get me wrong. Solitude can be beautiful. There's something peaceful about a quiet cup of tea by the window, or a gentle afternoon reading your favorite book. But when alone time starts to feel more like loneliness, that's when it becomes a red flag. The tricky part is it often creeps in slowly. Maybe a friend moved away, or someone stopped calling, or you got into the habit of saying no to invitations because it was just easier that way. Before you know it, days blur into weeks, and it's been a long time since you had a real conversation that lit you up inside. Here's the thing. Connection is one of the most powerful medicines we have, especially as we age. Studies have shown again and again that meaningful relationships are deeply tied to longevity. They keep our minds sharp, our hearts hopeful, and even help regulate our physical health. So when you find yourself withdrawing more often, or simply feeling like people wouldn't notice if you disappear for a while, that's not just sadness. That's your life asking for reconnection. And no, it doesn't mean you need to fill your calendar with social events or join every group in town. Sometimes it starts with something small, reaching out to an old neighbor, joining a short community class, volunteering once a week, or even just striking up a friendly chat at the grocery store. A warm interaction, no matter how brief, can wake something up inside you. It reminds you that you're still part of the world, still needed, still seen. It might surprise you, but another hidden sign that your lifestyle might need a little fine-tuning is this. Your hobbies just don't excite you anymore. The things that once brought you joy, gardening, painting, baking, puzzles, fishing, they start to feel like chores. Or worse, like memories from another lifetime. This one can be particularly sneaky, because on the surface, everything looks fine. You're still doing things, still keeping busy. But underneath, there's a dullness, a sense that life has lost some of its color. Why does this happen? Often, it's because we stop growing. Somewhere along the way, we get caught in routines. Comfortable, yes, but also repetitive. And even the things we once loved begin to feel stale if we never stretch ourselves. Our minds and spirits are wired for learning, for exploration, for newness. And when we stop feeding that part of ourselves, we slowly start to shut down. You don't need to take up skydiving or travel the world, unless you want to, of course. But even trying a new recipe, learning a few words in a different language, picking up a musical instrument, or writing down a few stories from your childhood, these small sparks can reignite that sense of purpose of being alive. It's about reminding yourself that it's never too late to be curious again. Never too late to say, I've never tried that. Maybe I'll give a shot. Because that's how life stays fresh. That's how you stay young, on the inside. And sometimes, the most powerful sign that change is needed isn't found in your energy levels, your mood, or your social life. It's in something even more fundamental. Your gut. Quite literally. You might notice that you feel bloated more often, or your digestion has slowed down, or you're having more trouble with constipation than you used to. We don't talk about this enough, but the gut is like a second brain. It's incredibly connected to your mood, your immune system, your ability to absorb nutrients, and your overall energy. And when it's not happy, your whole system feels off. You might think it's just part of getting older, but often It's more about what you're eating or not eating. A sluggish digestive system can be a sign your lifestyle isn't supporting your health the way it used to. Maybe you've fallen into the habit of eating too much processed food or not drinking enough water. Maybe stress is affecting your gut more than you realize. Maybe your meals are rushed or lacking the fiber and variety your body craves. Whatever the reason, your gut is speaking to you. And if you listen, you can start making simple shifts that bring powerful results. Try adding more colorful fruits and vegetables to your meals. Sip on warm water throughout the day. Take a walk after eating. These aren't dramatic changes, but they're tune-ups your system will thank you for. Because when your digestion improves, your sleep gets better. Your mind clears up. You feel lighter, both physically and emotionally. So often, we wait for big wake-up calls to make changes. A health scare, a fall, a scary diagnosis. But you don't have to wait for things to get that far. The body is always communicating with us through small signs, small whispers. And the beauty of catching those early is that they give us time to adjust, to improve, to reclaim the kind of vibrant life that's still possible at any age. Every tune-up begins with awareness, not judgment, not guilt, just gentle awareness, listening with kindness, responding with care. Your body and spirit are always on your side, and they're rooting for you to feel your best every step of the way. Let's keep going, because sometimes the most important sign of all isn't physical. It's something even deeper. Sometimes the most telling sign that your lifestyle needs a little reset doesn't show up in your joints or your digestion. It shows up in your spirit. That quiet feeling that life has become a bit flat, like each day is just a copy of the last. You wake up, go through the motions, maybe have a cup of coffee, do a bit around the house, watch something on TV, and before you know it, the day is over. But here's the thing. You don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel excited. You don't feel like you. This kind of emotional fatigue is easy to brush off. We tell ourselves, I'm just getting older, or this is what life is now. But if we're honest, that emptiness is a sign that your heart is craving more. Not more things, but more meaning. Purpose isn't just for the young. It's not something that fades with age. It just changes shape. Maybe you used to find meaning in raising your children, or in your job, or in being part of a bustling community. And now, with those roles shifting or even disappearing, it's natural to feel a bit lost. But purpose isn't something that disappears. It's something we rediscover. And rediscovery starts with asking gentle questions. What lights you up inside? What makes you feel useful, connected, alive? Is it caring for a grandchild? Helping a neighbor? Tending to a garden that feeds others? Sharing your life stories so they aren't forgotten? Making art? Supporting a cause that still tugs at your heart? Even something as simple as making someone laugh today or listening to someone who needed to talk. That's purpose. That's contribution. That's value. When you don't feel excited to get out of bed, it's not laziness. It's not just old age. It's your spirit quietly saying, I miss feeling useful. I miss feeling alive. And the beautiful truth is, you still have so much to offer. Not despite your age, but because of it. The world needs your wisdom, your kindness, your patience, your stories, your experience, your ability to see the bigger picture when others can't. Purpose doesn't have to be big and bold. Sometimes it starts with one question: who needs me today? Or even, what would make me feel proud at the end of this day? When we live with even a little intention, the world inside us shifts. Now, here's one final sign that's often misunderstood, and it might surprise you. If you've been sleeping more, feeling tired despite getting rest, or just want to stay in bed longer than usual, it might not be because you're lazy or slowing down. It could be your body telling you it's not getting what it truly needs, physically or emotionally. Fatigue in later life isn't always just about age. Yes, the body changes, and yes, our energy levels are different than they were at 30. But deep, unshakable tiredness is often a symptom of an unbalanced lifestyle. Sometimes it's from poor nutrition. Maybe you're not getting enough protein or essential vitamins. Other times, It's emotional heaviness, stress, or even a low-grade depression that's gone unnoticed. We live in a world that tells older people to take it easy, to slow down. And yes, rest is important. But so is vitality. So is movement. So is waking up excited about the day ahead. If you're sleeping 9 or 10 hours and still waking up groggy or feeling unmotivated, something deeper is going on. Start with gentle changes. A short walk in the morning sun can reset your circadian rhythm. A better breakfast, something with fiber and healthy fats, can give you sustained energy. Staying hydrated, even just drinking an extra glass of water a day, can do wonders. And don't underestimate the power of laughter, music, fresh air, and hugs. These are energy sources too. You see, sometimes we wait for life to fix us, for something big to change everything. But most of the time, it's the small choices that make the difference. Choosing to stand in the sunlight for 5 minutes. Choosing to move your body even when you don't feel like it. Choosing to call a friend instead of watching another hour of TV. These are the tiny moments that shape how we feel and how long we live. Longevity isn't about reaching 100 with a body that just barely functions. It's about feeling alive at every age. Waking up with energy, going to sleep with peace, and knowing that you're still growing, still connected, still living a life that matters. If any of these signs spoke to you today, I want you to remember something. Needing a lifestyle tune-up doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It simply means you're paying attention. You're listening. You're choosing to stay engaged in your own well-being. That's a beautiful thing. So if your days feel a little too quiet, if your joy is faded, if your energy is slipping, or your heart feels disconnected from purpose, maybe it's time to gently ask yourself, what do I need right now? And don't be afraid to answer honestly. You deserve that. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel hopeful. You deserve to feel excited about the years ahead. Remember, you are not a finished story. There are still pages to be written, still chapters to unfold, and the pen is still in your hand. Let's keep writing together. If any part of today's message touched your heart, share your thought in the comments. Let's start a conversation. What are you doing to tune up your lifestyle? What's helped you reconnect with energy, joy, or purpose? And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so we can keep this journey going side by side. Here's to living your fullest, brightest, healthiest life, no matter your age. You're not done yet. In fact, you're just getting started.